Hello. I've had only 3 videos on my little page so far, but it's time for me to get the girl power and out there, boost you ladies up. And I'm driving, it's dark, so my video is super dark right now, but it's all well and good. I need to have my glasses on because it's starting to rain, so it looks even darker to me now because they're tinted purple. But so I wanted to start with a video of my testimony. You guys, I love me some Jesus. Can nobody tell me that God ain't in control? And I'm gonna tell you what. Just listen to my testimony. It goes from 2017 till now. Well, I guess 2018 is when the good Lord first spoke to me, early in 2018, but it started in 2017. Okay, so I am, at the time, 2017 is June 1st and 2nd, I'm 41 years old. I went to work that day. At the time, well, in 2013, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "You're covered in arthritis from your neck to your hips and your left knee and your right elbow. What do you do for pain?" I said, "Well, I deal with it. I've been on my own since I was 18, so I've been through a lot of bull mess. This seatbelt is strangling me. I'm short, so..." So, if Mama didn't do it, it didn't get done. So Mama got used to suck it up, Buttercup, and I'm going to work and I'm going to take care of these children. My kids, I did very well. And for many years, I worked as a nursing assistant for a very long time. And that's where the arthritis come in at. Because, when we're young, we think we're invincible and we're superwoman and, oh, I got this. And you run around, you work, till you work your body out. So I ended up with all this arthritis. Well, anyways, long story short, he says, "Well, I could give you something for pain." I'm like, "Nope. No Vikes, no perks. I know what that mess turns into. I don't want nothing to do with it, right? Because I know me, and I know if it feels good, and I can work my butt off, and I'm feeling good, oh, I would like it too much, so no." Well, he says Ultram would be a good one for you. Tramadol is the generic name. Non-narcotic, non-habit for me. Well, not for me. About 4 years later, I decide I'm going to quit taking these I took 250 milligrams twice a day. I'm going to quit taking these little 4 pills every day because it's probably killing my liver. Every med you take filters through your liver. I apologize for the darkness, but you guys, it's the content. You ain't got to see me to listen. And within 48 hours, I was miserable. Now, guys, before I got my life together, I was a hustler. I've been in these streets. Not only was I the only female in the streets at the time, I was the only white female in the streets at the time. I would hustle with the guys, and then I'd sell them shots of liquor, and then I would make taco salads or whatever. And me and my little one, I had one little one at a time, so we survived. Because there was no family. My family left here when I was about to be 19. It was just me and him. So, long story short, I go to the doctor. The doctor was like, "Oh, you're in full-blown withdrawal." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "How did I get here?" Like, "What do you mean withdrawal?" Like, dude, I don't get down like that. And, so it was off and on battle. Me trying to do it on my own. And sheer willpower is not enough to get you off of an addiction. It's just not. If you do it, kudos to you. God bless you. I've seen the Lord supernaturally heal people overnight, but for most of us, He doesn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if we don't learn a lesson to help somebody else, then there would be anybody out here to help the other addicts who hadn't found the Lord yet. If He healed all of us instantly, there wouldn't be anybody around to help the people who don't know Him yet. So He lets some of us learn. He allows us to learn our lesson, the hard way. He lets us go through that. But he gives us a way of escape, y'all. He always gives us a way of escape. And so, come 2017, June 1st and 2nd, June 1st, I drive home from work that day. I feel like death in a handbasket. I was weaning myself off of gabapentin as well as the tramadol. We go to the lake, take the kids to the lake. We come back. My daughter had just got a house. And, her and my grandson's dad, got it, and we was out in front of the porch, and I'm pulling weeds, and all of a sudden the world starts spinning to the left, like when you're drunk and everything goes one way, but I don't drink. So I'm like, holy schmoly. But now mind you, at the time I was still taking tramadol, I was still taking a PRN Xanax, which I didn't like that much because I need to go. That being sleepy business wasn't for me. And so I attribute it to that. Signed somebody's bond that night, didn't even recall it. So I go to bed. There's no face droop, no arm tingling, no speech slur, no nothing. No nothing that I had been trained as a nursing assistant all these years to look for in a stroke person. Somebody having a stroke. So I went to bed. I figured I was dizzy from all the crap that was in my system. Not to mention I was a weed smoker at that time. So the next day I wake up and I felt better, but I was very argumentative. Which later on I found out they said when something's going on with your brain, your fight or flight response kicks in, and if you're not a flight type individual, you will argue with just about anybody. And which was what I was doing. So then that evening, had a very traumatic, emotional experience, an argument, and boom, it happens again. And my now 18-year-old son, Deej, he was with me. At that time, he was 14 or 15, I'm not sure which. And 14, I believe. He stayed with me. Mom's sick because I'm dizzy. Same thing. No face droop, but my eyes seemed like they were wobbling in my head this time. Again, I don't know anything about that. There's never been a sign for a stroke that I knew of. So, anyway, I go to bed. I go to sleep. I wake up the next morning. I'm no longer dizzy, but I'm like, y'all got to take me to the ER. I'm like, it feels like somebody shot me in the back of the head. Get to the ER. They do their brain scan and MRI and stuff, and they said you had a stroke on Friday, and you're still in the stroke that you started having yesterday. Off I go to University Hospitals, Cleveland. I'm in there for 4 or 5 days. I had 2 ischemic strokes. Phone's going sideways. 2 ischemic strokes. A fourth of my brain tissue is dead. The cerebellum and the bottom portion of my brain in the back. So, after that, the savings ran out. I was the provider. I paid the bills. The rent was $650, all the utilities and things. So by November 1st, now this happened in June, mind you, the savings ran out and we had to leave our home. We stayed with a cousin for November and December and the first 2 weeks of January. And then my juvenile son had gotten into some trouble, so we had to leave there. And we went to stay with my daughter, as she owned her home and she didn't have to answer to nobody. Ooh, it's dark on this street, guys. I am so sorry. There. And we stayed in her basement. And I'm down there one day after I got everybody out the door and on their way. And I'm crying out to God. And, I always believed. I don't remember ever not believing. But at the same time, I wasn't walking like I believed. I prayed all the time, but I didn't live my life like a believer. And I cried out to him, I'm like, God, please save me from this dungeon. I called it the dungeon. It was a cold, wet, dark basement. It's a basement. I can't take this anymore. I'm looking at my kids sleep on somebody's basement floor on a mattress. They need a home. And my devotional comes in 2 hours early. Instead of coming at the normal 11:50, it came at 9:50. And it said, God's smile in a dungeon is better than his frown in a palace of a believer. So I'm like, of course my antennas went up. I'm like, okay. And I was begging them to get me a place in the Jets, in the projects, because I was never going to be able to work again. They told me that up front. And I had to have a roof for my kids. I still had 2 little kids. At the time, they were 4 and 10. They are now 8 and almost 14. They'll be 14 in May. And so I come to the mailbox. And not only is there my approval for the projects, but there is also, cut it too close. There's my approval for Section 8 that I totally forgot that I applied for back in 2014. So God didn't only give me what I asked for, He gave me that, and He gave me better. Guys, oh my gosh. It was crazy, amazing, crazy, crazy, crazy amazing. And on top of it, so we moved back into the house. But we had started going to church. I started going to church. I've went sporadically over the years, but I wasn't a faithful goer. And I was like, nope, I need God 24/7 all the time, every day, period. So the family was going with me and things. And let's see. Okay, so we moved back into the house. Well, my family was like, and my old man, he was like, you know what? No, he was like, I don't care what you're going through, no matter what you're praying on, it's everywhere. It's on the TV. It's on the radio when we get in the car. It's what the pastor's preaching about when we get there. And I started calling them Holy Ghost threes. I said, that's how the Lord talks to me. He gives me things in threes. I might open my devotional and boom, there's the topic. Later on, I go and I open the Bible, crack it open, bam, same topic. Get in the car, turn on the radio, bam, same topic. So profound, so often, guys, that my old man was a penitentiary Muslim, is what I call him. So was my foster brother. Both of them came to Christ. My best friend she is now one of my best friends. She was a JW, Jehovah's Witness, and she's seen it enough, and I witnessed to her for 2 years that she came to Christ. So it's not just me. It's not just me seeing it. It's not just me hearing it. It's not just me recognizing it. People around me who weren't believers were seeing God move and God work, and, to the point where they came to believe. And another thing, I was at church, and the pastor did an altar call. I went up to the altar, and he turned around and he said, I wish you guys could see what I see right now. And he comes down to where I'm at, and he's like, you come here. And I didn't know my old man followed me up there. I didn't know he followed me up. I went up, and he came up behind me because my leg would go out sometimes due to the strokes. And the doctors and the PT and OT, they all said, I don't know how you recuperated this quickly. Doctors, you should be dead or in a nursing home. You had 2 ischemic strokes, and you're walking, talking. And the physical therapist, I've never seen anybody recuperate this quickly. I'm like, well, I got little kids to raise. I'm taking glory. I didn't know at the time. After I found out, I gave him the glory. And my old man says when we leave, and it's funny, y'all, because he was like, that white man don't know us. He was like, I know you ain't been around him. You've been with me. He was like, but yet he said everything that you've been telling me for the last 3 months. That was it. He was a believer right then and there. And ever since, I talk to the Lord, I commune with the Lord, I'm totally into uplifting women and letting women know how precious they are to the Lord and women's empowerment. My plan is to get on here and do different things like when to know when you're in a narcissistic relationship and you're being abused, how to know when or what to do, if you have a cheating spouse. What do you do in marriage when your spouse is cheating? What does the Lord say about that? How can you deal with that? What if you stay in it? There's so much I want to do to help women get better and to grow above and beyond these things and realize how truly wonderful you queens are. God says you're the apple of his eye. He made women specially on purpose. The first person Christ revealed he was Messiah to, the woman at the well. The first person to preach the gospel, to tell the good news, Mary Magdalene. She found the empty tomb and went back and told him it was empty and he had risen. So, look forward to seeing you guys more often on here. One more little quick ditty. A couple weeks ago, I was going through some things. I was driving all day and I'm at a red light. I'm like, Lord, I know you're always with me and I shouldn't ask, but I need a little extra oomph today. Could you just let me know that you're with me? Y'all went to my office at the church. Well, it's the Daughters of the King room is what I call it. That's where I teach women's Bible study. And I crack open the daily devotional and it says, the daily topic said, today God is with you. It happens all the time. You cannot convince me he's not there and he's not talking to me and he's not listening to me. And I just have so many more stories to tell y'all, but I really want y'all to, above and beyond just that. I had a stalker for 6 years that was hell-bent on killing me. I've survived all kinds of abuse. I've survived adultery in relationships. I've survived all kinds of craziness. And I want you girls to know that you don't have to live as a victim. You live as a victor. You overcome that crap. You straighten your crown up. Girls, we got to straighten each other's crowns. There's no more of this bashing each other and letting the world tear us down. God made everybody unique. He made us all individually beautiful on purpose per his design. And what looks good to man is not what God says. Whatever the facts may be, it still doesn't override God's truth. God bless you and good night. And I look forward to seeing you. Hit that subscribe button. Follow me. And share it out. And I'll be on here again tomorrow talking to you guys about a good topic for us women overcoming the crap that the devil puts in this world, that he puts on us to tear us down. Notice that he started with Eve. He knew how special women were going to be. I believe he knew, but per God's design and the way things work, that women were going to be the cream of the crop. And we were the ones that were going to rise to the top, y'all. So I believe that's why he started with Eve, to try to tear women down. See y'all next time.